All right, that was one more minute. So we are going to officially start our webinar this morning. Thank you everybody for attending our Patton and Microsoft Teams webinar that's hosted by 888 VoIP. My name is Danielle and I am the Director of Marketing over at 888 VoIP. And before we dive into the meat of our webinar today, there are just a couple things that I want to run over with you. So if you have any questions, which you probably will, please use your GoToWebinar control panel and insert those in the questions section. Mark and I will be checking those throughout the webinar, and we will be answering those at the end during our Q&A session if time does permit. Fortunately, we're hoping that we have some time for that, so we'll get to do it live with you today. If not, though, we would be able to reach out to you one-on-one and answer any of those questions. We will also be providing you with a recording of this webinar, so please look out for a follow-up email from myself from 888 VoIP that will have a link. We'll also have some more contact information for Mark and to get in touch with Patton as well, and have some links about what we are going to be discussing today, both products and Microsoft Teams wise. So again, if you have any questions, please feel free to use that. So at this time, I'm going to hand the webinar over to Mark from Patton, and he's going to run over the agenda and get into everything we're going to discuss today.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Danielle. This is Mark speaking. Thanks for everyone who joined for this webinar today. Again, my name is Mark Eberhardt. I'm product manager at Patton Electronics, and I'm pleased to go through these slides I have prepared for you today. I'm going to start off with talking about the digital transformation. So what we are seeing here at Patton in what is happening in the market space these days, followed by the Patton solutions, coping with the requirements we see today in the market, and then going into more details in what the integration with Microsoft Teams is concerned, and also for high quality service for teleworkers, a few use cases I prepared for that one here to show you a few things there in how to use the Patton products and also the benefits these products are providing. Then Patton Cloud and Virtual SmartNode, everything going virtual these days. We also have products and nice solutions for the virtual product line there. And then, yeah, as said, Q&A towards the end. Should there be anything unclear, feel free to post any questions there, and then we'll just go ahead with this. So the digital transformation. So what we see happening is that the market is transforming into a virtualized environments. So basically it started a few days ago already, now is happening even for the small enterprises, with the main purpose there basically in terms of reduction to hardware related costs. So before everything was done in a dedicated way where services basically were using dedicated hardware, and now with everything or more and more going to be virtualized, this also helps in saving cost. But there is also other benefits to that, which is faster setup time of new services. So the virtualization allows to go faster, and everything there is also going to be simpler, and also simpler in a way if there is a need for recovery if something fails to the service. So overall, we're talking about productivity increase and also a higher level of automation, standardization, which again helps to reduce cost. Now, how we are doing this on the Patton side with our products that we have in our portfolio, starting with the gateways. So we don't just have a simple gateways basically, so we have more than that. That's why we call them hybrid gateways. Of course, they perform the usual gateway functionality, connecting the old telephony world to the all IP world. But in addition to that, our gateways are capable of being an SBC as well. And talking about SBC, this brings me to the Microsoft Teams and Skype for Business cases, where the SBC really is key. Everything can be managed from the Patton Cloud. So the Patton Cloud is a centralized platform, and you're going to see it later on, which really helps making things simpler. And even here, Patton Cloud being a virtualized solution, which again corresponds to the points I've mentioned before, making things faster, simpler, and also cheaper in terms of deploying services. The virtual SmartNode as well goes along with that. You're going to see it later what this virtual SmartNode is, what it's capable of doing, and again here virtual, which makes things faster and yeah, also easier to deploy. Now talking about Microsoft, there is a long history in terms of Patton working together with Microsoft on the communication side. So as you can see, back in 2007, we've started certifying our products with the so-called Office Communication Service, the Microsoft OCS server, followed by the several Link instances and Skype for Business some time ago there. And now we're just about to finalize the Microsoft Teams certification. Now, how does the Microsoft Teams work together with the Patton products, and also how it's providing a benefit to the enterprise? So in a case of a UCaaS setup, I would like to show you here, so Unified Communication as a Service, which means that we have a virtualized PBX sitting somewhere at the service provider's network, delivering voice services to the enterprise. That's where the SmartNode is sitting in between and mediating all the different streams that need to go into the enterprise in terms of voice communication services. So on one hand, the SmartNode is capable of handling the traffic going and coming from the Microsoft Teams in order to support the so-called direct routing, which allows for the enterprise to do calls within the Microsoft Teams and ecosystem environment, but also which allows the enterprise by using the same endpoints, so that might be your Earlink or your polyphones, to call out to a public number going through the service provider's network. On top of that, with the Patton solution, with the Patton SBC sitting in between the enterprise and the WAN network, basically, we can also do the call quality monitoring or service monitoring coupled with alerting. So that's really helpful and powerful tool which alerts the operator or the IT admin if there is something happening to the voice call quality in that case. Similar here, the SIP trunking. So basically the difference is that the IP-PBX is sitting at the enterprise. So with a local IP-PBX, same story here, the direct routing aspect. So the SIP phones, the endpoint sitting at the enterprise side can do calls within the Microsoft Teams ecosystem, but also can call out to a public network going through the service provider's network. And again, here, the call quality monitoring and alerting, which is key in such scenarios as we're talking about all IP scenarios. Now, let me move to another point that is key as well, survivability. So in case there is something happening to the services side of things, for instance, if there an access link is dying, or if any kind of service is down, which basically means there is no service anymore for the enterprise. And as we're talking about a UCaaS setup here, so the phones, they are going to be useless. However, having a Patton solution, having a Patton product installed there at the enterprise, coupled with the Patton cloud, it allows the operator or the IT admin to get an alert if there is something happening to the service. So if the service is being interrupted, that goes to the enterprise, which allows the operator to send a technician on site to see what is going wrong at the enterprise site. In the meanwhile, having the Patton SmartNode placed there, it allows the enterprise to do station-to-station calling. So they still cannot call out, but they can call each other within the office, within the enterprise. And with the hybrid gateway approach, there is a possibility to connect PSTN line to the SmartNode, which allows the enterprise to call out in a case of emergency, so they're still able to call 911, for instance. Now, moving into the virtual aspect of things, so I've mentioned before, we do have also a virtual SmartNode, and I would like to show you how this virtual SmartNode can be used, and basically how this works from a high level within the Microsoft Teams environment. So basically, it's the same kind of setup in terms of having an SBC at the customer's network edge in order to provide the functions an SBC is providing. So the security aspect, service demarcation, call quality monitoring, and now having a virtual SmartNode in place here, it allows the enterprise to run that virtual SmartNode on an already existing hardware, on an already existing infrastructure. So that can be in a bigger scale, a data center, if you're talking about medium or smaller sized enterprise. So it could be the virtual servers they might already have. So kind of a server farm where they're running other services already. So where a virtual SmartNode can be easily installed there. Now, how can we provide a benefit for the teleworkers? So a big thing these days, or even for the past couple of months now, in the time we're in right now. So basically, on the enterprise side, it's the same thing there. So you have your virtualized data center where a virtual SmartNode is running and acting as an SBC, but also as a VPN server, it can act and running alongside a virtualized IPPX. The WAN side, the same thing here. And now let me cover a first example of a teleworker sitting at the home office, having a SIP telephone and a PC. And there is also another one example I would like to give. So a home office that has a SmartNode installed with an analog telephone connected to it and a data connection going to the PC. And a third example where there is a SIP telephone connected to the SmartNode as well as the PC going to the SmartNode as well. So you can see in the second and third example, the SmartNode is setting up a VPN connection going back into the enterprise, and you're going to see why this is of benefit to both the enterprise and the teleworker sitting at the home office. So the example one I made up here, so that's pretty basic in terms of the equipment that is required. So there is a simple SIP desk phone and the PC of the teleworker required. In terms of setting up such a teleworker, working from the home office, let's say, it requires an individual setup, which means credentials for the SIP phone, the login or VPN tunnel that might be set up from the PC going into the enterprise, which is kind of cumbersome for the IT admin to do so. So there's not a lot of pros. The only pro that I could think of was that there is no special equipment required at the home office, but other than that, it requires quite a lot of time and it's quite complex in setting up that teleworker. However, if we move to the type 2 or the second example of a teleworker there, having a SmartNode in the home office, there's a lot of benefits there. So in this case here, if present at the home office there, they can use or reuse any analog telephone, connect that to the SmartNode with the routing tables we have there. So calls can be either directed to the traditional PSTN network or they can go into the enterprise. So in other words, this analog telephone can become a full-blown extension as this guy would be working inside the enterprise. Another pro here is that having the SmartNodes there at network edge, we can provide QoS functionalities coupled with call quality monitoring and alerting. So here the service can be monitored. And also in this case here, we deliver a high level of automation, which means there is no individual setup required by the IT admin. So basically sending the SmartNode on site, will connect to the Patton cloud, gets its configuration, and everything is going to be set up. And let me move to the third example here. So the difference compared to the second example is that in this case here, we're talking about a SIP phone that is being installed at the home office there. And yeah, it's a similar story here, a lot of benefits having the SmartNode at the home office side. So again, in terms of call routing, the direct routing in terms of Microsoft Teams can be supported. Call routing in terms of going into the public network, but also going into the enterprise. So for the people working in the enterprise, it basically makes no difference if this one guy is working from the home office connected to the SmartNode, or if it would be inside the enterprise. So yeah, we can basically integrate that in a nice and also secure way by having the SmartNode setting up a VPN connection, which also helps preventing problems from happening in terms of call quality related aspects like one-way voice audio or whatever firewall issues that need to be taken care of. So with that, these problems are not going to appear basically. Just to summarize again, in terms of what is required for the enterprise for setting up such a system in terms of connecting the teleworkers in an easy, reliable, and secure way. So there is one instance required, the virtual SmartNode acting as an SBC, providing the VoIP security, doing the demarcation between the enterprise and the WAN side, and also being there for taking care after the interop. So interop in terms of connecting different vendors together, like the Yelling phones or IPPBXs or different kinds of phone brands. So that's what the SBC is doing. Another instance is the virtual SmartNode acting as a VPN server. So that means that even from the PCs, the VPN tunnel being terminated on the enterprise side can be done by the virtual SmartNode, but also the SmartNodes sitting at the home office premises, setting up a VPN tunnel going back into the enterprise. Also here, this virtual SmartNode is going to terminate these tunnels, providing high level of security, and also helps in a better and smooth integration of the home office network going into the enterprise. And because everything is virtual, there are a lot of benefits there as well. So you can easily run multiple instances of these SmartNodes, whether as an SBC or a VPN server. You can create high availability solutions, and also having everything managed from a central location, from the Patton cloud. It's easy to scale in terms of number of VPN tunnels that you might need, or the number of SIP sessions that are required on the SBC. Good, okay. Yeah, moving on with the virtual SmartNode, just going into a bit more details here, what it is. It's basically the same functionalities you would find on a hardware-based SmartNodes are available to be executed on any virtualized environment. So that can be VirtualBox, infrastructure, KVM, or in the case of Microsoft, of course, the Hyper-V. And just lately, we also added the virtual SmartNode into Microsoft Azure. So that's coming up next. It's not available in the market space yet, but we have done installations there already. So just for you to get an early information on that side. And again, yeah, what it's capable of doing. So it can be used as an SBC for SIP trunking, for UCaaS, so for SIP hosted services, or it can act as a VPN server, as you saw before, or basically as an IP access router. And because it's capable of dealing with IPv6 and IPv4 IP addresses, it can even be used as an IP gateway in that case. Just to highlight again the benefits of the virtual SmartNode. So it's a pure OpEx model. So there is no investment required. It can cope with a wide range of performance requirements. So you can start with a low number, you can increase by adding more SIP sessions by simply a few mouse clicks on the Patton cloud. Quick and easy installation, providing a high flexibility, so which really makes it a great product. For everyone that is interested, you can just follow this link and get your 90 days free trial on the virtual SmartNode. I'm sure you're gonna like that one. Good, then yeah, just on the Patton cloud side of things, again, to highlight what it is. So it's a centralized platform that helps to provision, monitor the smart nodes that are being installed in the field, and it also helps to troubleshoot in case there is something going wrong. So with the Patton cloud, there is a possibility connecting to the smart node and also soon to the SIP endpoints behind the smart node when it acts as an SBC. With that, it helps reducing downtimes of the service and finding a problem more quickly and also in a proactive way. Also in a proactive way, we detect issues related to call quality, so we can permanently monitor the call quality through the Patton SmartNode and report that into the Patton cloud, where there are functionalities in terms of notification and alerting, which is helpful, notifying the IT admin or the operator of a service provider so that they can proactively go after finding the problem if there are any. On the call quality side, there are different things we're looking at, and based on the measurements we're doing there, so there can be alerts fired. For instance, if there is a round trip delay of more than 500 milliseconds, all of a sudden, so that this can trigger an alert, or if there is too much jitter on the line. So with that, we come to that panel here. You can see a lot of information based on each call that is available here. For instance, you can see from where the call originated from, what was the destination number, and also, yeah, you can see if the call was successfully set up, and also the relative call quality you can find there. And yeah, in case there is some kind of problems, you can even dig deeper and see down to the message level how the call has been set up, and indicated by these green bars here. This is your voice quality. So here you'd be able to see if there was a call quality drop in the middle of a call, which, yeah, again, helps to find and detect problems fast, and also that they can be fast resolved, basically. If we're looking at the bad call, or an example where we see a bad voice quality, so this is going to look like this. And also on the panel in the Patton cloud, you're going to see that there was a call established. However, this call was lost, and yeah, it's likely that this was because of a poor audio quality. The Patton cloud is being used by quite a lot of our customers, and there are many SmartNode devices registered to the Patton cloud these days, and it's getting more every day. The benefits of the Patton cloud, I hope I was able to convince you before. Centralized platform, easy to use, really inexpensive. So the smallest cloud plan starts from $0 already, which really makes it a great platform to help enterprises and also operators to be profitable in that case. Same thing here. So we have a 90 days free trial for the Patton cloud. So just follow the link here. And as Danielle said before, we're going to be sending the slides to you so that you can go through the slides again, and also, more importantly, that you can find the links that we have in there. Good. So yeah, that brings me almost to the end of the presentation today. Just wanted to highlight again what the values of the Patton products are. So the Patton products stand for high quality, providing a stable and reliable service, basically, with a long lifespan. Lots of interoperability programs we've participated, and also keep them up to date, so which helps connecting different vendors together, basically. We do have one operating system aspect. That means that every SmartNode is being configured in the same way. That's one thing that technicians love using the Patton SmartNodes. And we have a continuous software release strategy. That means every 2 months there is a new software available that also includes new features, basically. So it's really flexible, secure solution that helps in the transition from TDM to all IP, basically. Good. Yeah, with that said, let me ask back to Danielle if there are any questions from the audience.
Mark, it looks like right now we only have one question, and you may have answered it, but just again to reiterate, is Patton already team certified as of today? And if not, when?
Right. So we're, yeah, as I just quickly mentioned, we are finalizing the certification with Microsoft Teams. So things are looking good, and even we don't have the certification in our pocket yet. We have done quite a lot of installs already with several partners that are using Microsoft Teams together with Patton products already.
If anyone has any more questions, you're welcome to send them in. We'll wrap up in about a minute. We'll give you a little bit more time. If a question pops into your mind after this webinar, like Mark had mentioned, I'm going to be sending the recording and the deck to you. So you'll have his contact information, because you'll have this slide that's up on the screen right now. So you can always reach out to him, since he is our Patton expert. And if you have any questions on the purchasing of Patton as well, you can always reach out to 888-VoIP. I will have our sales information in that email as well. All right, looks like we have a couple more questions coming in. Okay, you ready, Mark? The next question here.
Sure, let's go.
Okay, will this work with any VoIP PBX or hosted service?
Yeah, so basically we are not agnostic to any brands there. So we basically support everything as long as the SIP standard is being followed. And yeah, as I said, we've done a lot of interop there with various vendors. So yeah, we basically can help you there in connecting the different vendors, the different equipment together.
And Mark, going back to our first question that we had in conjunction with the team certification, can we use Patton with Teams without it being certified?
Yes, that is possible. So the only thing there is, in terms of support, that needs to be covered by the system integrator, but that's something we've done together with system integrators already. So there's basically, no problem in start using the SmartNodes already today together with Microsoft Teams.
And then in regard to resource, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that basically that we've built up the knowledge already in-house. Our technicians, they know how to use the SmartNodes, what kind of configuration is required to have them working together with Microsoft Teams. So we built up the knowledge already. So it's really just about to get the rubber stamp from Microsoft on the Teams certification.
All right, wonderful. We have one more question, and it's in regard to a resource. Does Patton have a white paper for hybrid scenarios for the SmartNode 4114 with Teams?
So white paper wise, I will have to disappoint you basically. So we're still working on things along with the certification we're going through, which is going to include tech notes, white papers, knowledge base articles, and things like that, as well as wizards, which make things really easy for the install. However, we'd be more than happy to assist you for the install you might have with your 4141, so your analog gateway there. For it to be acting as a hybrid gateway, so doing the SBC portion with the Microsoft Teams, and also on the analog side integrating legacy equipment.
Wonderful. Doesn't look like we have any more questions right now. But again, just because you didn't answer it now doesn't mean that we won't answer it for you. So again, you're going to have Mark's contacts and information when I send out that follow-up, which should come in your email within the next day or so. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And again, thank you so much for attending our webinar this morning. And we look forward to talking to you more about Patton and Microsoft Teams.
Great. Thank you very much. And hope to see you soon. Have a good day.